You guys, Mr. Beast has come out to speak out about some of the things that have been alleged about him online. Since this summer, I have been covering what has been said about Mr. Beast, some of the allegations that have come out about his company. Former employees have come out to say things about him, and he is sitting down with Oompaville to talk about the things that have been said online. The timing is all very interesting that he's decided to sit down and do this interview, but all in all, he has come out to talk about things finally, and we're gonna get into all that he had to say. Fresh off a wave of controversy, particularly after it was revealed that Mr. Beast had been following and messaging commentary creators, urging them to cover a recent video debunking claims made by Dogpack 404 earlier this year, he sat down with YouTuber Oompaville, aka Caleb, this week to address the allegations made against him this year. The video is titled Mr. Beast's Response, and it's a little over 2.5 hours long. In the video, Mr. Beast swears on the Bible, is asked about why he's been silent, asked about his company's investigation, talks about his company, his mom, his employee handbook, and so much more. He says he was legally advised not to speak out while the investigation was happening, as the lawyers wanted him to wait till it was over, and he didn't expect it to take months. He does say that he made a response video to some things said about him, but it didn't feel right, and he never released it, obviously, and this particular setting with having someone else ask him the questions was better in his opinion.
I made like a little response video, but it's just kind of not my style, where I just kind of like put a lot of the information that I assume we're going to talk about here out, and it just felt weird. Yeah, I mean, truthfully, I've never been in a situation where people have thrown this much stuff at me, and I definitely could have handled it better. Like, I probably should have, like, the second I could have talked, like, I don't remember the exact date, 2 or 3 weeks ago when we put that report out, probably should have done something like this right then. If I could go back in time, I would. And yeah, that's kind of like the brain dump, and then here I am. I like so much better, or I'm assuming, I mean, we just started, but I think I'm gonna like so much better being asked the questions and answer it instead of just like sitting in a chair like this, answering it. It just feels a little more natural.
I will say, for Mr. Beast to not address this stuff on his own YouTube channel, it definitely feels like a strategy, because not everyone of his audience members knows what's going on or that there is controversy surrounding him at all. And I think he'd like to keep it that way by addressing things in the place that are already talking about him negatively, bringing these issues to light. Like, there's a lot less for him to lose doing it on Caleb's channel. He says that he regrets not making a response earlier, though, as the situation has gotten a lot bigger as a result of his silence. And he said that he knows there's a lot of things that he deserves criticism for, but a lot of things that have been said about him that are just not true. He addressed the external investigation into his company and the reactions that people have had about how, because he paid them to do an investigation onto his company, they obviously weren't going to find much, to which he said that they did find things and are legally obligated to report crimes if they find any, trying to say that this wasn't some phony investigation like some are thinking.
It was pretty intense. I mean, they did tons of interviews. I mean, transparent. They even like scanned my phone, dug through, like they have messages I sent to my girlfriend, and I'm like, why is this even relevant? They're like, I mean, if you want a thorough one and you want us to like be confident in what we're saying, we need to see everything. Like they went pretty hardcore on it, which is why it ended up taking a couple of months. Because truthfully, when I started this process, I didn't realize like how intense it was. But you know, I gave them the reins to everything, and yeah, it took longer than I thought. But I don't know. I mean, is there any like how else do I prove it besides? I mean, I think another thing that missing context people don't have is like, if they found anything illegal, they're obligated to report it to the police. Like this like, that's how these things work when they do these investigations. It's not like they could be like, hey Jimmy, we found this illegal thing, we'll just sweep it under the rug.
But it's all right because you paid us.
Yeah, like so it's just in every way. I just don't think people understand. Like it's it was obviously Coin Emmanuel, that's why we paid them, and it was pretty thorough. And
to combat diversity claims, he says that his Feastables company is majority women, and so people claiming his companies are not diverse don't have anything to back that up with. And in terms of HR problems, now they have an anonymous complaint reporting system, which he provided a screenshot of this now existing. And in regards to claims that his mom was his former head of HR, he wanted to say that this wasn't exactly the case.
I mean, when I first started hiring people, it was like, oh, we went to high school together, you want to help me make videos? And I hired a couple of my friends from high school. And then I was like, how do I do taxes and this kind of stuff? And I was like, Mom, help. And so, I mean, I wouldn't say she's head of HR. I mean, she was, I guess, but she's also running finance. And, you know, it's not like a real company. We just get in this like little $700 no, actually that one was $1,080 a month office I was renting. And I'd just be like, to this one guy that I knew from high school. All right, today you're gonna go paint this thing. Today, you, friend number 2, you're gonna like help me edit this. And you, friend number 3, you're gonna go to the store and buy 1,000 chickens that like scream when you press down on them. And mom, I don't know, just make sure the IRS doesn't sue me. Like that's the time frame we're talking about here. But yes, I agree. Like it's stupid. Like you definitely shouldn't have your mom as an HR person. You should just hire someone who was educated in HR, which is obviously what we have. We have an HR team now.
He also addresses the employee handbook that was leaked, where one of the parts of the handbook says no does not mean no. So Mr. Beast wanted to address this, as people have seen this and they have been like, clearly Mr. Beast thinks that he can use his power to try and persuade people to do things for them that they don't want to do. And he said that this was supposed to be for employees that were training at his company, and to let them know that if they call somewhere and they say that they can't make something work for a video, that they should not automatically resort to like, okay, thanks for your time, bye. You should try and do everything you can to try and make it work, and try to get this person to say yes to filming, come up with some sort of solution, and claims that people have spun things after seeing this.
And somehow, well, I don't know, I'm not even gonna say somehow, I know how. I mean, people who didn't care about the truth and just, wanted to spread disinformation and manipulate and lie to millions of people, which it worked, spun that into, I mean, I'm not even gonna state the obvious, but I mean, which made no sense because the context for it was literally written right below it. But I mean, that just shows the ill will intent of certain people.
Yeah, because no doesn't mean no. I mean, that is like, there's just a massive, heavy negative connotation with that, obviously.
Now later, he does talk about the claims that he uses CGI in his videos, saying that Dogpack claimed an explosion in one of his videos wasn't real, which he says that it was real, they just touched it up in post, providing raw footage with what was edited to Caleb. And he went on to say that he rarely uses CGI, but is thinking about ways to be more transparent about when he does.
Potentially, I don't know, this is the first time I'm saying it publicly, like time stamping in the description when we do.
That's interesting.
Yeah, or like having some like gimmicky thing where like whatever we do, we like put like a little Beast logo on it. So it's like a thing that if people wanted to identify, they could. I mean, I'm down to figure something out. I mean, we just don't really use it that much. It's just like a thing few and far between. But what I really don't want is people to not be able to trust my videos just because occasionally I want to make a wall blacker or like I want to extend a set a little bit just to make it look cooler and like you feel in tune with it.
And he was asked about the hospital video that Dogpack 404 brought to light with Rosanna Pansino.
The most damning thing against Mr. Beast is that he has faked parts of his philanthropy videos in a way where he's making it look like they did more than they actually did. Oh, I'll show you this clip.
Okay.
And I want you to try to find out what's wrong with it.
All right.
A few months ago, at the very top of a 9,000-foot mountain in a remote part of Nepal, this hospital looked like this.
That looks CGI.
Really?
That looks fake. I love movies. I'm a movie buff. I watch them all the time. And I know when I see CGI, this does not look real.
Yeah, no, I'm actually surprised you caught that. Most people didn't. But if you don't see the CGI at home, I'll point it out. This is the before shot of the hospital. This is the after shot, and then same thing over here. What I noticed is that Dan Mace, who's the director on Beast Philanthropy, did a behind the scenes video for this shoot where they build a hospital in Nepal or whatever.
Started off by getting the opening shots. I like to call these Plinky Plonk match cuts. These are great for
the building looks very different than in shots like this. And, for one example, there's like moss growing here, which is...
Yeah, it looks more decrepit.
Yeah, it's like the concrete's breaking down right here. There's like holes in the roof. There's like all this random crap.
But in the real shot, there's no moss.
Yeah.
There's no decrepit.
Right here, you'll notice this pillar, 2 white lines. Right here, same pillar, 2 white lines. But there's a building behind it. So in this opening shot, where Mr. Beast says, this is what the hospital looked like a month ago, they digitally removed the entire hospital.
And Mr. Beast claimed that this was just a dumb mistake.
You guys built a hospital, part of a hospital, in order to deceive viewers or, manipulate them into believing that you did more than you actually did.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. Honestly, truthful, dumb mistake. At the start of one of our Beast Philanthropy videos, they were trying to show what this like building looked like in the past. And in the past, that hospital wasn't there. So they removed it in the editing, which, and this is just like a small part of this isn't even like the point of the video was that we built this hospital or whatever. There was just a shot at the beginning, but some people saw that and like thought we did build it, which is not the intention. And so it's just a dumb mistake. Like trust me, when I saw that, I talked to the editors. I was like, come on, like, I have 100 editors and obviously we have a bunch of different channels and things like that. So it's hard for me to like speak with all of them, but it was just truthfully a silly mistake.
And he says that they do not fake their philanthropy. Now, later he did address messaging YouTubers Soggy Cereal's video where Soggy interviewed MrBeast employees and they provided context to some things said about him by Dogpack 404. And MrBeast says that he saw Soggy's video and sent it to people because he liked the video that was made and thought that those covering him should see it and talk about the fact that some of the things that Dogpack have been saying are false. He addressed the fact that he did comment on Soggy's video as well and said, "Finally, a video that doesn't spread baseless slander about me, LOL." And he did say that he shouldn't have commented this. Just because it's not a good look, it makes it seem like he's not taking the things being said about him seriously. But in response to the illegal lottery claims telling people to buy shirts for a chance to be in a video, Soggy Cereal in his video thought that there was still one incident where MrBeast had participated in an illegal lottery. MrBeast didn't think that he did, but says that he has people looking into it and said that if people do want a refund, they can go to this particular link. In regards to Dogpack, MrBeast said that he feels like he has to sue him, but it's not something that has officially happened, but more than likely it does seem that it will.
Are you going to sue Dogpack?
You know, there's tons of examples of him intentionally manipulating things to not be true and posting it online. Tons and tons and tons of that. Soggy has basically an hour and 27-minute video, and an hour of it is just flat out proving manipulation and lies and caused a lot of harm to my businesses. I mean, I've literally had people pull out millions of dollars and then tell me it was directly because of his video. And don't worry, I instantly was like, can you send that in writing? So, you know, if I win a case or anything, I can directly point damages. No reason why. And so, I mean, it's just unfortunate. Like, I don't want to be put in this situation, but probably gonna have to. I mean, it's just, I mean, what do you do if someone's just spreading misinformation about you and, you know, just causing harm to your business and like getting it to the point where you might have to potentially fire people because it's costing you so much revenue? It's like, it's not fair to the people in my companies.
And you can see just how upset he is by Dogpack when Caleb tries to say that he originally thought Dogpack had good intentions, and MrBeast was quick to tell him that he was manipulated and called Dogpack out.
I thought Soggy had good intentions.
Or
Dogpack, exactly, yeah. Soggy does have good intentions, in my opinion. In the very beginning, and now things obviously are, he's turned this into sort of his thing.
Good intentions, even though even the very first video literally was, what, 90% lies?
It seemed.
You got manipulated,
yeah,
but
of course, yeah.
That doesn't make it good intentions.
yeah, I'm just saying it seemed, and a lot of people also believe that.
Was it good intentions when he photoshopped a fake live stream and falsely accused me of not saying something I did say and falsely accused something? It was good intentions when he put a king-size Feastables bar beside a regular-size Hershey's bar and didn't disclose that and then lied about us having more sugar than them? Was it? I mean, I could sit here and do this for the next 30 minutes.
MrBeast also sent Caleb a link to the transparency report on the MrBeast philanthropy website, saying that CoffeeZilla could do a deep dive if he wanted to on everything based on videos that he has been making about MrBeast, and that there's obviously been a lot of conversations about his philanthropic work, and provided proof of the $1 million that he had to give to Beast Philanthropy with this screenshot. In talking about this work, he did address claims that his 1,000 eye surgeries video were not all paid for, and wanted to explain why there was one charity coming out to say that they were not paid for 8 months.
It was alleged that it was not paid.
Yes.
And you eventually paid them 8 months later. What was the cause of the delay?
Yeah, 100%. And that, you said alleged. I mean, well, so they weren't paid. Let me zoom out. Basically, we did a video where we helped 1,000 people see again. We, off camera, actually did 800 other surgeries. So we did 1,800 surgeries. I just only put 1,000 in the video. And for a lot of them, we worked through with the charity just to make sure things were, you know, because they had a lot of experience with this. And that charity worked with a lot of doctors on the ground and other little charities. And one of the charities that they worked with did a couple dozen surgeries. I don't know the exact number. I'm gonna say around 30. And then the charity we were working with was supposed to release the funds to him afterwards to pay for it. There's a little bit of a misunderstanding. They didn't get it, so we ended up paying for like 970, and like I didn't know of this, but like that little misunderstanding never got taken care of. So then the charity that did the 30 surgeries made a video saying, hey, you know, we didn't get paid. Somehow that never ended up on my radar for 8 months, which is honestly crazy. I don't know how no one sent that to me. We obviously had no knowledge of it. And then I saw it a couple weeks ago and I was like, whoa, I instantly called the team we were working with and I was like, what's going on here? And then we looked through it all, blah, blah. And then I was just like, I just paid them. So I actually double paid for those surgeries and just paid them separately. obviously just a little misunderstanding.
He also addressed mold on the Lunchly products, which up until now has not gone addressed by Mr. Beast. Logan and KSI have addressed it, and they've joked about liking moldy cheese.
Well, there was no recall. I mean, that's been
Right.
said, which again, it's like, it's so annoying. It's the disinformation, man, because that makes it seem like there's an actual serious problem. Oh, we're recalling Lunchlies, and there's a sign that, you know, I think Logan even did a video, if you want to throw up, where he like went to the store and that just wasn't real. That like someone put on like a door that said Lunchly has been recalled when the shelves are empty by the FDA, which was just a made up thing. Yeah, on the mold thing, here's the thing. We, every single Lunchly with cheese meat is USDA inspected. There is no mold when it leaves our factory. Like, we have the highest QC standards imaginable. Like, what do we have? Why would we ship that out? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Later, he acknowledged Beast Games and all that's been said about the environment on set, which he currently is being sued for. And like what has been reported online, he did say that some of the issues they ran into were as a result of the CrowdStrike issue.
You know, Beast Games, we had 1,000 people. We were doing big stuff. And just like with my normal videos, like I'm not trying to say like everything went great. Like, you know, like one thing that happened when we were filming one part of Beast Games is, you remember CrowdStrike? That was pretty brutal. We had the most contestants of any game show in history together. That was weirdly, God hates me, during the CrowdStrike accident. And so as we're like eliminating hundreds of people and trying to get them home, airports all across America are down, hotel room keys aren't working, and that created a lot of confusion and that caused a lot of problems in our systems, and that was pretty brutal.
And he tried to talk about claims on people's needs not being met while filming and claimed that there was a lot of misinformation online about this.
When we were filming, we had obviously tons of feminine care products and stuff like that, but there was one woman who was allergic to the feminine care products, and we didn't have allergen-free ones like tampons and pads. And she told someone, I don't know who she told, I haven't been able to find it, but I mean, I believe that she did, that she was allergic, and they didn't obviously do the logical thing, which is tell us or just drive to the local Walmart and buy some and give it to her. And so she wasn't able to get, you know, feminine care products in a reasonable amount of time, which is unacceptable. And so I learned a lot of little things like that.
He also says people claimed he did not use unions when filming, which he says he did. And also says that in regards to people claiming that they broke bones on set of filming Beast Games, he has not been able to find any record of this. And
which is like crazy to think that I'd be like, oh, 10 people broke their bones, let's keep filming, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't even make sense. After like that claim came out, like we literally called 1,950 contestants of the 2,000. We couldn't get a hold of all 2,000. I couldn't find a single broken bone. Yeah, online it's being claimed there's dozens. I mean, there's so much even disinformation like that being spread.
And claims that everyone who showed up got money, and it was just framed as them getting hush money, but it was the plan all along to tell everybody that they weren't going to get any money for showing up, but that they were going to surprise everyone and tell them that they were going to get money for just being there. Ultimately, a lot of what Mr. Beast had to say was that there was a lot of things that he's done that were wrong, but there's also a lot of misinformation being spread about him, some of which he was able to provide receipts to combat the claims of, but ultimately that's some of what he had to say in the sit-down interview about all of this. And I do think that he was addressing the fact that he hasn't been able to talk about this, but something that was really upsetting in all of this was that he was saying that he couldn't talk about any of the stuff being said about him, but that all while this was coming out, he was going on podcasts and talking very highly of Beast Games. Like, he did that podcast with KSI and Logan where he was bragging about, you know, how the filming was and how they broke all these records. And it really amplified all these stories about him that were negative, because everyone was just like, how could you be ignoring what's going on and being said? And even if you're not allowed to talk about them, it makes it look like you don't care. But obviously there's a lot of opinions going around about what he had to say in this interview. And I do encourage you to go watch the full 2.5-hour video to make your own decisions on what to think in all of this, because there's just a lot that was asked in this interview. No mentions of Rosanna Pansino, I will say, which is interesting. I wonder if Mr. Beast just doesn't want to go there or what, but I did find that interesting. But in regards to all of this, I certainly want to know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.